final team stat comparison here on Toyota Warriors Postgame Live, where the Warriors shoot 46% from the floor. And again, Minnesota did a great job on the glass in the second half. They out-assisted the Golden State Warriors. Again, the Warriors had 16 assists at the half, just 11 in the final 2 quarters of this game. Turnovers, you'll live with the 13 turnovers there. They did miss 5 free throws, but overall, Minnesota just too big, too athletic. And you see that with the points in the paint, 66-44. All right, let's hear from the chef, who dropped 39 points in his return to the lineup.
I felt pretty good to start and normal, like middle of the game, trying to get your second win. And then once you get into the rhythm of the game, things started to feel normal again. So individually, it was a good first game back just to get my lungs back and feel like myself.
So you guys rally back to get the lead late. What happened at the end there to let it slip away?
We had a rough, start to the fourth, where I think we were up 3 going in the fourth, and then ended up being down 12 or something like that. And against a good team, you can, give it everything you got. Thankfully, we got back in the game, took a lead for a certain point, but then you're at the mercy of a couple makes here, a couple misses here, a challenge call, like stuff like that. So it was just a rough start to the fourth, but we did battle that group that was out there the last 6 minutes. Gave ourselves a chance, and Dante hits a big 3 in the corner. We kind of seal it for him. Rudy made a lot of plays, finishing like scramble possessions. And even without Ant, you understand they know who they are, and they have a certain look that we struggle with. Just a tough way to end.
No Draymond, no Al. How big a problem was the interior tonight? I mean, you mentioned it, but Gobert and Randall had big numbers.
Yeah, it's 51 combined, and with Rudy, you can try to keep a body on him and kind of take him out of the offense at times, just because if we do have size, and I think he made his presence felt. Obviously, driving lanes, he was getting offensive rebounds, he was getting those little drop down passes, and everything at the rim. So 24 and 14, that's tough to overcome. Draymond and Al understand how to make their impact, make their presence felt against him, but we didn't have him. We had to figure out a way to get it done, but we just didn't.
All right, Steph, you had half your team's points in the fourth quarter, 14 of them. When they go on that 14-0 run to go up by 12, did you kind of maybe say to yourself, I need to take over the game at this point to get your team back in it?
You want to be aggressive. Yeah, internal conversation. I think we only scored 5 points up until like 7 minutes or something like that in the fourth. And then, you shoot the shots that you think you can make. We got the ball moving in transition a little bit more, which helps. Not playing against a set defense. And it just wasn't enough, obviously. So there's a lot of good out there tonight, but obviously not enough to win.
Steph, your 2-point shooting percentage this year has gone up significantly from last year, 8 for 13 tonight. You've also gotten to the line a lot more this year. Why do you think that is?
I think over the course of my career, I try to have a good balance of allowing the 3 to be a threat so I can get into the paint. It's not like I'm jumping over anybody, so you got to be crafty and all that, but just trying to see lanes to drive, get it on the rim with some touch and hope it goes in. But you have to use a 3-point as a threat, and the ball screens and people closing out to you and all that type of stuff to get in the paint. It's something I like to do.
Steph, what does a night where you take 28 field goal attempts feel like on your body, especially as you're coming back from injury?
The attempts aren't really a thing that wears you out. It's more if you're on ball a lot and pick and roll and stuff like that, how much you're running off ball as well. And so, like, that middle of the game was, when you're doing rehab and all that, it's usually a sustained kind of session, how long you're out there on the court. And then you got, long timeouts, halftime and all that. So you're kind of coming up and down your rest periods during the game. So I was just trying to get back to the rhythm of that. So the shots aren't necessarily a thing that, again, creates fatigue. It's more the style of play. Say what?
Should also note that Steph Curry only had 2 turnovers tonight in his return to the lineup. But let's talk about Jimmy Butler, who often refers to himself as Robin to Steph Curry's Batman. But I thought Minnesota did a good job overall when it came to team defense and limiting the impact of Jimmy Butler. 15 points tonight, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. But a lot of times, Willie, we saw him stuck in the paint, looking for shooters out there. I thought Minnesota did a good job of limiting Jimmy Butler from getting to the free throw line. Just 4 free throw attempts tonight for Jimmy Buckets.
Yeah, I mean, the scouting report is to try and play big on Jimmy Butler. It's easier said than done, but the Minnesota Timberwolves have those big bodies to be able to play him one-on-one, whether it be Randall, Naz Reid. They can put Jaden McDaniels on him. Anytime he's a small guy, he's going to make them pay. I think Jimmy, he had a solid game. But when you're playing, shorthanded without your bigs, I think it's really important to play quicker in transition, obviously, but even in the half court. Even if you're trying to create for your teammates, get to the paint as fast as possible and get that defense in rotation.
Yeah, Jimmy had a solid game. The part of the game that they took away was the free throw line. Like, he only had 4 free throws today, and Jimmy is a guy that gets to the 8, 9, 10 times a night. So that's a part of the game that the Minnesota Timberwolves, they wear you out with their length, their athleticism, they're physical the whole game. They get to the point of physicality where the refs don't call everything anymore because they get so used to it. And I think that's the part of the game that people don't get to see.
He had to deal with those young Timberwolves dealing with him offensively, and he had to deal with those same guys on the other end defensively. And the cumulative effect wore him down. He had 10 points in the fourth quarter tonight. Only 1 point. That came from the free throw line. I mean, it's having to deal with all of that on both ends of the court with really no protection just wore him down to enough.
That's something we witnessed in the second round of the playoffs last season.
In the second round play, we talked about pregame. Ball movement and defensive strategy and all those things are nice to have. But in the NBA, at some point, if you're getting outmanned and you're overwhelmed athletically and by size, it's going to cost you. So tonight, first quarter, the Warriors lost by 1 point. They won the second quarter by 3 and the third quarter by 4. Fourth quarter, minus 10. So they just physically wore them down. And I think what Festa said earlier, too, they played more to their identity. Obviously watching the game, it looked like the Warriors got good shots, but I feel like those were shots Minnesota was willing to live with.
Fezzi, I tried to warn you about betting tonight. I told you who was sitting next to you, man.
Hey, man.
I almost put
everyone broke over here.
I almost put my house on there.
No, you did put your house on there.
I said I was going to. You said no.
I don't know if I stopped you, but I mean, Willie stopped himself because we may be any cameras in here, any wiretaps. The odds presented by Great Resort and Casino. Warriors did not cover the spread. Man. And again, whenever Rod's here, our next return here, notable returns again. We got to have a 4 of these bad boys. Up next is Michael Jordan. And we sent in the facts. David
Not
Hawkins'
a tweet. It was a fax.
It was
you know
a
what
fax.
that says? You know what a fax is?
No.
I'm back.
What is that?
Kids, Google it, kids. Google it. But he had a rough game in Indiana, Marcus Square Arena, wearing that ugly number 45. He ended up going back to number 23 in the second round of the playoffs against Orlando in game number 2 after Nick Anderson said, number 23 doesn't get the ball stolen from him. 45 does, and then Jordan dropped 40 on him the next game.
I mean, but even better than that, but he was playing. I want to know where you at. Where were you at when you heard that, when you saw that? What was the league thinking?
I actually think that night, we played in New Jersey. We played the Nets in New Jersey, I believe. We got on the bus heading to the airport, and I think the Knicks were still playing. And I mean, that was the Pacers.
That was the Pacers.
I'm talking about the double nickel game. The double nickel game. We were in New Jersey. Yep. Indiana, I don't know. That
was a Sunday afternoon. That was an early game on NBC. All the bells and whistles were out for that. They actually lost that game, but the double nickel game against New York.
But what was most impressive was after they lost to Orlando, they came back and ran off 3.
Isn't that where
72-10?
Isn't that where they were talking to Michael and said 45's not like 23?
Exactly. And he worked out with everybody in the NBA. He made him come to the Space Jam set and say, "Hey, come get me ready for the NBA," which was a huge mistake for the league as the Bulls three-peated. All right, next. This one is emotional. This one was a lot of fun. The All-Star game that year, of course, Magic Johnson had to leave the league, unfortunately, as he tested positive for HIV. You look at this return right here. He ended his retirement. Actually, this is the end of retirement, not the All-Star game in Orlando.
This was his first game back.
Who's that guy to his left?
This is his first game back.
2 rebounds short of a triple-double, Bully.
You said it was emotional. It was embarrassing. He wasn't even in shape. He almost gave us a triple-double.
Hey, just letting him get anything he wanted to hoop. Come on now.
Rod, that's magic, Rod. That's magic in L.A.
These guys lose that game, Bully?
I'm assuming yes. They gave us the script for that one, too.
All right, our last one
We're
here.
still adjusting to the whole situation.
Yeah, he just didn't know what was going on.
It's similar to Willis Reed. We were in shock when he walked out of the locker room.
Oh, it didn't look like magic. It looked like tragic because he was so out of shape. All right, here we go. Down back game, Fezzi. What was it like to have Steph back?
Screen,
Who's that guy?
Did he game 0 for 8 or something like that? Then he had 17 points in overtime. You guys take a commanding 3-1 lead.
When he started talking and said, I'm here, I'm back, it was a wrap. You had to see the whole arena like, oh, man, Steph is on one of them tears again.
He started off ice cold in that game. Damian Lillard, C.J. McCollum were cooking. Felt like they were about to even up that series. And then Steph showed his powers. 17 in overtime.
In overtime?
Yeah.
Whew, man,
And he's still doing it. And he's still doing it at a high level. I mean, albeit in a loss, but I'll say it again. That God-given talent, he has honed it to perfection. And we're still witnesses of it right now. It's crazy.
He's done that with incredible discipline and dedication to fitness, keep his skill level so sharp. I've never seen a player come off injury. Their first game back is always amazed with Steph Curry. Starting with the tunnel shot.
Yeah, the tunnel shot today. The wild Western Conference.
Oh, welcome back, Mully.
The Wild West.
It's getting wild out here, Mully. We got a big game tomorrow. Victor Wembanyama is making his return in Las Vegas against Oklahoma City, who are 24-1, but Spurs off to a hot start. 17-7. They just beat up on the Lakers the other day. This is a NBA Cup semifinal game. OKC on a 16-game winning streak. This is going to be a lot of fun. Chet versus Wemby. Castle versus SGA. You got Fox against Jalen Williams. Obviously, OKC, they're the defending champions, but San Antonio's an up-and-coming team here, Rod.
You say all that, and you're right about San Antonio. OKC is probably still going to win by a dozen.
Oh, boy.
They're that good.
I mean, if there's any team that can beat them, though, it is a team that has a 7'5" alien in the middle.
Sure.
That can shoot threes and handle the ball like a point guard. All right, but the San Antonio team is young, they're hungry, scrappy. Defensively, they're top of the league, obviously because of Victor Wembanyama. But Oklahoma is not taking any steps back.
Nope.
They're attacking every game like it's a Game 7. And that's just beautiful basketball to watch.
Well, they're 24-1 for a reason. But to me, San Antonio, they played really well without Wemby. I think they were 9-4 without him. You mentioned Stephon Castle. De'Aaron Fox is a heck of a player. I love Dylan Harper. And, to me, they kind of got a two-timeline thing going, but the young guys have taken those spots. You can't keep Stephon Castle off the floor. No. Obviously, Wemby's Wemby. Fox has fit in. So they've done a really good job. They've got good veterans there, too. Harrison Barnes, Devin
Johnson,
and
Vassell.
Yeah, so those guys, they're veteran guys. They're young veterans, but those young players have kind of taken those positions.
Luke Cornett as well, coming over from the Boston Celtics.
Just great young talent on both sides of the floor. I have to laugh, though. We started this segment by highlighting one of the greatest big men of all time in Willis Reed. And then what do we end with? Victor Wembanyama, something that we've never seen before. That's how much the game has changed in a relatively short amount of time.
Man. Well, you could go Willis Reed, Ralph Sampson, to Wemby.
The great Ralph Sampson.
Yes, that's right.
Don't sleep on Chet as well. He's having a hell of a season.
Yeah, he is.
Chet Holmgren. And we got some highlights, Fezzi Phil. We do have some highlights, including this one.
This is
good.
Game,
He's making 1-2 and
cash. What is this?
I think it's security. We've yet to beat the Portland Trailblazers this season. Third game of the year. That was on the back end of a back-to-back. They got ran out the gym. Then the Caleb Love game a few weeks back where he dropped 29, 7, and 6 on the Dubs. Then they have a nice 3-day stretch. That's right, Mully. Will load manage you. Ease you in. Then get you ready for Thursday night against Phoenix. And we'll see them against
Saturday.
A lot
of back-to-backs, Mully.
Missed most of them so far.
We've never seen this number of days off.
That's what you call a vet.
Wow. Okay.
The schedule is now favorable for us, Mully.
Yeah, well, Portland loaded with athletes. Some young athletes.
Yes,
Shaedon Sharpe, Denny Avdia is a big-time player. He's playing at all-star level. And you said about they haven't beat this team yet. They need to start stacking some wins. It's going to be a tough game.
That big, too. Donovan Clingan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these are games now where the Warriors are trying to find ways to find some consistency. And they can build on some of the things they did today. Obviously, Steph looking good and being healthy is a big key. But I want to see QP. You know, he was 4 for 11 from the three-point line today. And those open shots, they're going to give him those shots. I know he's going to knock those shots down. But Portland's a team that they haven't been able to beat. So this is going to be a good time to get that back.
All things considered, I thought the Warriors handled the rebounding situation well. Steve Kerr said before the game that they've been working on everybody rebounding, especially at the elbows. Carried that forward against Portland because the last time they saw him here, they got out-rebounded by 20, 52 to 32. Mm-hmm. Cut into that. See if you can get something in terms of stopping Advia. Maybe you'll have a chance of winning that bad boy.
And Gobert had a huge night, but a lot of his buckets, he had 8 dunks. 8 dunks. It was off dribble penetration. Mm-hmm. So his teammates created for him. So it wasn't just Gobert getting the ball and making moves.
And Portland's got a lot of guys who can create off the dribble. Remember that last game, Jeremy Grant did nothing, yet the Portland stole one here at Chase. And
welcome back, my lad.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Steph.
Dubs Talk Live is next with the great KB, Kareth Burke, and the Hall of Famer, Monty Poole. Don't go anywhere, folks.